Hello people and welcome to round 11 of the DFL Championship. I should have checked that once again, I keep forgetting, but welcome in anyway and welcome to Singapore. I hope you're all having a brilliant day. We are once again back here. We have been here in the past in season 2, 3 and 4 and the current fastest quality is a 137.428 set by Carl himself. Can that be beaten today? Who knows? You'll have to wait and see, but I cannot, as ever, do this alone because we all know I'm terrible on my own. So we do have my partner in crime once again, Ritvik, with us today.
Hello, people. Hope you're all doing well. Hope you're doing well, Dan. It's gonna be a great weekend ahead. Gotta love Singapore. Gotta love street tracks. Gotta love F1. It's gonna be a great weekend.
Very true, very true. And no Ian today, which changes things a little bit because he's only ahead of Preston by a few points. Like, it is so close.
Yeah, he's ahead by 7 points in P2 currently, is Ian. So Preston will be looking to overtake him there and go into P2 himself, and then I believe Ian also will be missing out in the next one also. So he'll be looking to sort of put your foot on the neck of the throat, if you will, and get his gap bigger and bigger. But who knows? We'd never know anything in F1. You might see a DNF. He might be done by safety cars. He just has to put his head down. And actually, the more interesting thing here will be that Callum, despite missing out on a few races in between, is actually only 39 points, I want to say, behind Ian. So again, he's also probably one who's been going to be looking to overtake him there. So it'll be a good couple of weekends coming up.
It really will, and as ever, we will be here each and every weekend, so make sure you all tune in, subscribe, like, etc, etc. But I will just say that I apologise if you hear some dog walking around in the background. I'm on my own, Benji's on his own, so he's probably going to be walking on in the background, and also my hay fever's fair up. So I apologise if you hear a bunch of noises in the background today. Hopefully I'll mute the mic in time and Ritvik can go on and commentate, but we'll see what happens. But anyway, into the action now. All of our guys, I believe, are on their fast apps now. Yes, Preston's just gone on it as well. So, let's see what they can do here today. Who's going to be the first one to cross the line here?
It's going to be interesting. I think there's a real different skill set that you have to put into use when you're in a street track, because there is such a finer margin for error. Because the tracks are narrower, you have less leeway if you sort of run yourself off track. You kind of naturally want to be a bit more cautious and tentative. So we'll have to see. I mean, it'll be whoever has more trust in the car's ability to brake and grip out of the exit of a corner will come out on top here, as we start to see the AI setting times within the 131s. What did you say the lap record was again here?
Is a 137.428 set by Carl. I don't know why it's so far behind, but apparently it is. So we're already seeing they're getting broken.
We're seeing them get shattered, are we? As Hamilton puts it on provisional pole at the moment, and Jamie gets his first lap in. The first of the drivers are returning. Jamie to see what he can be doing with his Red Bull. He's put in a 131.6 as Noah now goes fastest by a long way, 130.196, 1.2 seconds ahead of Magic Turtle. Of Lewis Hamilton, I beg your pardon. Magic Turtle's now put his car in P2, 130.9, who's a good way off of Noah's attempt, and then Preston's first lap is a 131.4. I imagine we'll start to see these go down. What do you think? Who do you think is going to be the favourite today, Dan?
I have to put my faith in Noah once again. I mean, he has just been consistent. He's been dominant. But then again, the past few races, Preston has just been back to back to back. I mean, can it keep going? Can he put out more surprises? I mean, I believe the stat is, and Noah has worked this out, so, and I hopefully have got this correct. He's probably shouting down the phone if I haven't got this correct. But if Noah was to get if Preston was to win every race, and Noah was to get 4th every single race, or above, of course, from now until the end, Noah stays champ. If he gets below 4th, one race, and still gets 4th the others, I believe Preston might just be. Actually, I can check because Noah did send that to me on my phone. Give me 1 second, people. I will have the stat up for you here. Here we are. So, if Noah was to finish P4 every race until the end of the championship, Preston would end up on 281 points and Noah would get 279. So if Noah doesn't get higher than 4th until the end of the race and Preston wins every race, Preston beats him by 2 points.
Yeah, really fine margins. And of course, all it does take is just that one race where something may or may not go your way for either of the drivers, for that to be totally a spanner thrown in the works. So I think for Noah, he just needs to focus on getting in good races, as he's already pointed out, and as you've already correctly pointed out, he doesn't have to win every race, so the pressure is already lifted off his shoulders in that sense. For him to go on and win the title, the pressure is mainly on Preston to get those wins consecutively, and to be expected to win consecutively is a tall order for anyone, even the best of the drivers. So I think for Noah, he'll just look to get his car across the finish line in the top 4, as you say. But I don't think he'll be looking too much into every race, thinking, "Oh, I need to come P4, I need to come P4." I think he'll just think to do his best, you know. And I think that's what will get him across the line. He can't be thinking too much on the whole, "I need to get this position, I need to be this far ahead front."
That's fair enough. Yeah, I totally agree with you because you can't let that pressure get to you because at the end of the day, you will crumble if you let that pressure get to you. You know, then you will start losing races. You'll start, potentially DNFing because you'll be worried so much about making a corner, getting the time out of it, etc. Jamie sets a 131.273, takes P3 there. But it's seriously like, Noah has to keep calm and collected, but so does Preston. Preston has to keep that frame of mind as well. I mean, Preston has said to me his main focus is constructors. Noah, Preston and Callum understand that this could be their potential last season in the DFL because we are potentially upgrading next season. Not upgrading, that's the wrong word. Changing. I apologise, that's not what I meant. But, changing the drivers around. And Preston and Callum do understand that this could be their potential last season. May want to go out with a bang. But if Preston gets win after win after win, those priorities might change.
Yeah, and I mean, as we say, the whole stat of Noah getting 4th place and Preston winning every race and then him still being 2 points ahead is a very fine margin. I mean, I imagine that he'll be saying it now, but I imagine there's a certain degree of a sandbag to that, a caveat to that, in that if there is a race where maybe Noah doesn't have that good of a race and Preston wins that race, and suddenly he is in for the constructors. And I wonder, actually, this is a question I pose to you, Dan, is that do you think that with the pressure that Noah has to come P4 and not necessarily P1, that Preston's teammate Hal might try and battle with Noah as much as he can, try and push him maybe below that 4th place? Do you think that's something that will happen across the next few races?
I mean, let's look back at the last race in Belgium. I mean, Callum held Noah off majorly. Yes, Noah got ahead, and that was inevitable. But I truly believe that was Preston and Callum even told me that was purely team motivated. Like, they wanted Preston to get that gap and get as big a gap as possible because they knew Noah would overtake. But if he has above 10-second gap on the last lap when he overtakes, that's not getting caught up. And it was a big plus that, unfortunately, due to what happened between Preston and Noah, Preston got a 10-second time penalty, but because there was a 10.3 second gap, those 0.3 seconds and Callum's defending and holding off Noah saved Preston from getting a win taken away from him.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think it is like a major advantage having a teammate who can both fight for your constructors and your drivers' championship. Someone as good as Cal is at defending as well is a real asset to have for the Kick Sauber team. And I think Preston will know that he has that in his arsenal to be able to ask of his teammate, can you please hold up Noah again, bridge that gap a little bit more, widen that gap a bit more as Noah gets in another purple lap, extending his lead out front at 1:30.164, just slightly getting his PB. We'll have to see if the other guys can catch up. But yeah, as I was saying, I think it is a strong asset to have the team game. The key factor affecting that obviously will be that Noah will look to get pole position, for example, like he's trying to do now. And if he's not within reach of Magic Turtle, then he can't defend him, So that's going to have to be the kind of complex that we look at here.
Very true, very true. But you have to ask, if the accident never happened last race between Preston and Noah, would Noah have got the overtake, and would he have shot off like he normally does? Like, did that, unfortunate thing that happened, did that sort of save Preston from getting overtaken? Because Noah has immense pace on him, and it looked like he was going to get it.
Yeah, I mean, you do think about these things from time to time, but I don't know. I mean, I don't think either of the drivers would really bat an eyelid after the second they both crossed the checkered flag. I think neither of them would, care too much about it and look two ways about it. Maybe they'll hold on a grudge, if you will, for a review. But after the review was given, I think they'll just look back and think, whatever. And maybe, who knows, at the end of the season, they'll think maybe this could have changed the course of the way it happened. But I think now they'll just all be trying to get as many points as they can by the end of the season in the next races. And so, but as you can see, Flying Tiger is quite a way behind. He has put his car up into P3, so ultimately track position-wise, he isn't that far behind Noah. But in fact, all of them are a long way away from Noah in a provisional poll at the moment, with the closest runner being Magic Turtle, who is 8 tenths behind. So we'll have to see if any of them can set a more competitive flying lap.
Very true, very true. But come the race, this could be a massive disadvantage for Noah, having 2 Saubers behind him. Potentially, who knows, Callum might try and get the overtake, try and, stop and block Noah so Preston can get in front, or who knows, I mean, Callum could go for a win and Preston block Noah off. We don't know what can happen, but this is a massive team advantage. This is literally the only team we have this season with 2 drivers in it. So it is genuinely the biggest advantage in Kick Sauber's favour.
Yeah, and I think they will look to use that as much as they possibly can. And whether that will come into play, I mean, right now, Noah and then 2 Kick Saubers. So if for example Noah didn't get the best start in the world in the race, if obviously the grid stays as it is now, let's say imagine Noah didn't get a good start of the race, and that team game absolutely comes into play, because then both Kick Saubers are able to fight him, and then one can get ahead. I think so. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's a really strong advantage for the both of them, and we'll have to see how they get on to using them.
Very true, very true. But you also have to say the fact that Ian isn't here today and won't be here next race either is also a disadvantage to Noah, because Jamie says a 129.835. Oh my word, he's beaten Noah by 3 tenths of a second. That is major.
What a lap from Jamie. I mean, who expected that? He was a good 1 point something seconds behind Noah in provisional pole, and he's put an absolute stonker of a lap. What a lap that is from him. So happy for him as well. He shattered that qualifying record here. A 129.8. What a lap for him.
Very true, very true. But going back to what I was saying, Noah, with Ian not being here for this race and Netherlands, that is a slight disadvantage to Noah. Not that they work together, because they don't. I can promise you, they're in separate calls. They don't want to be teammates. But it's like it is that slight disadvantage to Noah, because Jamie, Callum, and Preston have been in DFL for years. They have trained together. They have helped each other. There is that camaraderie between each other, that friendship. Whilst Noah had that friendship with Ian, and now he almost has no one on the grid, whilst it's the 3 of them together, almost, in a way.
Yeah, and I think he'll have a certain degree of pressure on him again to have to overcome those adversities. But I think for him, he'll know he's quite far ahead in the championship. He'll know that he's the one with the cards in his hands, and so he'll just try and run with that, because he knows the others are chasing. So I think for him, it will just be a mental game, trying to stop thinking about that stuff and just put in some good laps. Even this, I mean, Jamie put in a stonker of a lap, but anything can happen at the start of that race. And if Noah backs himself to get the overtake done during the race, we've seen him be strong in qualifying and even stronger in the race pace. So if he can back himself there, then I don't think he'll have any issues. We'll just have to see how the mental game plans out. But I agree with you that it is a major, both physical and mental advantage that it's basically 1-on-3 out there.
Very true, but five place group penalty for Russell. It seems the AIs are coming out now, so a few penalties potentially coming this way. But I have to ask you, with it now being 5 races, including this one, until the end of the season, what are your end of the season predictions?
That is a tricky question, as Noah now crosses the line. Can he beat the pace? Oh, no, he can't. He's just shy of Jamie's time, which shows you just how good Jamie's time was, actually. Because that was a great lap from Noah. But, yeah, I don't know. I mean, you would think you'd have to back Noah, right? Because he's number 1. But I drove with Preston myself. I know how good he is under the pressure and out of the pressure. And, you know, who knows? Anything could really happen. But Drivers' Championship, you have to back the guy that's over 80 points ahead, right? I don't know. It's really tough to call. But I think it will be a very close battle. But I think I might back Noah to keep his lead. Yeah. And obviously he kicks Alba for the constructors.
Fair play, fair play. I will agree with you on the constructors, and I do think that Noah will just potentially just edge it, but I think it'll be very close. I mean, is that the YouTuber side of me saying, look, I want a battle. I want this to go down to the final race. I want to make the trailer. I want to make this, to have a story coming out of this. But I do think that, this will potentially go down to the absolute wire. Just like it did in Season 3 between Preston and Charlie. We look back there and we went into the final race with both of them on the exact same amount of points. We've not seen that again. And Preston, you have to remember, didn't turn up for 5 races. And then he showed up, pulled it back to final race, and unfortunately just lost it in the last race. But if we see that again this season, it just shows what Preston could do. 2 times he's missed a number of races. He's come back, and if he does it again, is that just not remarkable?
It certainly is, and I don't think there's a question as to whether it will be close or not. I just think maybe the gap seems a little bit too far to recover from. But again, if there's somebody who can recover that gap, it is Preston, who is currently 6/10 up. I'm not sure if that graphic was necessarily correct, but it said it was 6/10 up, which might mean that he's maybe got something to throw here. He's got a last roll of the dice. Maybe he's on a flying lap, as he is in Sector 2 here, as Jamie crosses a line and he is in provisional pole. We'll have to see if any of the drivers can put in a last-second lap here, as there is quite a dispersity between the 4 of them. But it is Flying Tiger. Is that Flying Tiger was it Magic Turtle with a purple?
It's Callum.
Is it Callum? Oh, look at that. So the Kicksabers are really putting everything into this last lap. We'll have to see if either of them can leapfrog the two members in front of them. But they're both absolutely racing right now.
Very true. This is going to be interesting. Callum now crosses the line. What does he set? Just short of it. No improvement really. A little bit, but not enough. Now, Preston crosses the line. Still improvement, but just not enough to get ahead of Callum nor Noah. But this is going to be the interesting one. What will Noah do here? It's looking good. Is it pole position? It's not pole position. Jamie takes it. Oh my word, to the leaderboard. And here we are with the leaderboard, and for the first time in a while, Jamie takes pole position, gets that extra point here today. Noah in P2, Callum in P3, Preston in P4. How will this go down in the race? You'll have to check it out tomorrow, people. Like, subscribe, and we'll see you tomorrow. Goodbye, guys.